Welcome. You've splash landed into this Prosecco-laden podcast, straight into the woo-woo pool with the crew of Ohm-g. We're just a simple group of tragically imperfect and highly empathic BFFs, exploring a wide range of atypical topics with humor, grace, and curiosity. This is Ohm-g. Welcome, everybody. It's a beautiful cold day in 2026. Today's topic, perception. What's yours? Where do opinions end and the forcing of someone else's truth begins? And who decides that? You're here with the crew of
Ohm-g, the podcast.
This is Camille.
This is Lynn.
This is Brenda Sue.
And this is Chandra. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. We haven't been up in the recording room for a couple months now, so it's fun to be back in the saddle with my gals.
It's nice to be back.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
It's Happy New Year. I forget we just had that.
It feels like we've lived 2 months already since January 1st.
Well, technically, I'm kind of holding out for the whole, it doesn't really begin until February 17th.
Right.
So we're still kind of in the limbo. But anyway, I digress.
All right. So who wants to kick this subject off?
Well, I'm happy to kick it off because this is a subject that Brenda and I had a conversation about. And it actually involved everybody to begin with. I guess it was, what month are we in? January? I'm so confused. I don't know if it was like November and December. If y'all remember, I got a new deck of cards and I don't even remember what the deck of cards was now. But anyway, it does, my mind. But anyway, I kept pulling the Divine Feminine card out and I pulled it out and pulled it out and pulled it out. And I shared it with all my friends and I was just like, I don't know how to step into the Divine Feminine. I don't know what they're talking about because, it's me. So
I got to do everything myself.
I do have to do everything myself because I'm thinking my choice.
Mm-hmm.
So it is up to me.
Well, and so we're also of the hyper-independent generation in general.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
We were raised that way. Don't ask me the question, go look it up.
Yeah.
Right.
Figure it out. You're going to have to figure it out when you grow up. Figure it out for yourself. I mean, it's just, that's good, bad, and different. That's just where we
figured it out since I was 2 years old.
Exactly.
And really, that go look it up yourself, that was pre-internet. So it was almost abusive if you...
The Dewey Decimal System.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I never could quite figure out, I had a lot of advice coming in about what to do. And it just, I don't know, it just wouldn't come through. And so Camille bought me a Kuan Yin Divine Feminine Oracle deck for Christmas. And so when I pulled the first card, I was like, oh, shit, that's what they're talking about. And it was all about, I guess, communication. I guess is the best way to say it. And as I was reading the card, I was like, well, that makes complete and total sense because the card talked about how when people are manipulated, and not just manipulated, but they let themselves be manipulated, and I'm guilty of that, they learn to communicate, how do I want to say it? Not harshly, directly. But some people take the directness as harshness. And I am a very direct communicator. I say what I've got on my mind. And if I'm having a conversation with someone and they're asking me my opinion, I don't, as me and Brenda were talking about being diplomatic, because Brenda's very diplomatic. But I also think that is a judgment too. If you're judging me and saying I'm not diplomatic enough, that's kind of a judgment. Do you know what I mean? And we all judge how people conversate. It just is what it is. And so that's where the topic comes up on where do opinions end and the forcing of someone else's truth begin and who decides that. Me and Brenda had this whole conversation about it. So Brenda, you got something you want to say?
I think it's really interesting to think about this, especially in our current environment and what's going on politically. Mm-hmm. And you have a group of people that are being fed a line of story. You have another story going on the other side. So these people are getting fed more of what they are watching. The other side is getting fed more of what they are watching. Yeah. So it's all like perception. And if you're getting the same thing all the time, that is going to be your perception of a situation or a topic. So if you think about the way that we are all being manipulated, really, by social media, the news, everything that's going on, like what is
our own beliefs and limitations that we were raised with, our own perceptions are also feeding into, even if you try to do your best to listen to both and get a balance of it, it's still your own, for lack of a better word, programming that still kind of shades it. Yeah.
And it come out through the filter of your own mouth, which we're all connected that way, you know?
Right. So in this current environment that we're living in, what is right and what is truth, what is not truth. And that can go into our relationships with each other too, like how we communicate with each other based on our perception or our judgment of something. And it's funny, I was out walking in the woods this morning and I asked to pull a card for like today, and I hadn't told you guys this yet. And Chandra and I have the same deck that was given to us by a good friend of ours, and it's the Fury deck. And the card was, be the observer, sit in observance without judgment, be like the witness to what's happening. And I'm like, DD, how the hell am I supposed to do that whenever I want to go out and punch somebody in the throat?
Discipline, unfortunately.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways you could think about perception and how we perceive things and how we judge, even though we're trying not to be judging people. It's like, I don't know how and what's judgment and what is the other word that we've been talking about a lot. And one of our last ones, like being discerning, what's judgment and what's discernment, and being able to know the difference between those two things, because I don't know if I know.
And what's judgment versus acknowledgement?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a perception thing too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's like if you're having a conversation with, like, if we have a conversation, which we do a lot.
That's kind of why we're here.
A lot. I like to talk. So, but sometimes I'll just say, I think, or I believe this, and then I just say what I think or believe, but I don't pad it. And so sometimes when I don't pad it, people think that I'm trying to force my beliefs onto them. And I'm not, because I don't care what other people believe. Like, I just try to walk my own path. And like, if you want to know what I think, like.
And if you don't ask. But if you do, let me tell you.
I need a t-shirt that says that. If you don't want to know, don't ask.
Yeah.
Because I actually have a really good friend, and anyway, I won't tell you the story because it's very personal, but she said to me one day, I'm going to ask you something because I know you'll tell me the truth. And I said, oh, shit. And I did, and she was happy about it. But I think people need to start discerning for their own self. Like,
yeah. And we might have a conversation, you and I, Lynn, and maybe I don't understand what you're trying to say, and I take it as something that's negative.
I'm very guilty of that. I won't ask the question. I'll just fill in the blanks in my own head.
Yes.
And assume that I understand.
Yes.
And sometimes I don't. It's not even like I consciously acknowledge that I'm not getting everything that you're saying, almost autonomically. Like, is that the right? I don't want to say automatically, but like, like when you don't have to think about breathing, you just do it. Like I'm doing it that way of just like hearing this, but my mind is like,
interpreting
there's a blank, I'm going to fill it in. There's a blank, I'm going to fill it in. And then I assume that I understand when I really wasn't like on that wavelength with you at the time.
Right.
I'm totally guilty of that.
Yeah, I think that's why people need to be able to communicate openly.
Yes.
Like, because if you don't understand what I'm saying, I don't understand what you're saying, or Chandra, or Camille, or Sweet Chilla Lynn, then I'm going to come ask that. Like, I'm going to be like, help me fill this in. Like, Tell me.
Even if it's something that like we don't want to hear.
Right.
Like, let's clarify.
Well, and especially if it is, then ask, okay, this is what I heard. Is that what you meant?
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I hearing, and am I not just hearing, but am I hearing and understanding?
Right.
If it's something that I feel like hurt my feelings or was not what I've come to expect,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, like, cause you know, like when you communicate with your friends, you've come to expect a certain vibe. And if you're getting something different, is that what you meant? Is that what am I hearing it right? Cause just to validate, okay, I'm gaining a new understanding of my friend that I didn't previously have, but you have to be comfortable enough to have that discussion.
Yeah. And I think so many people, and you can see this happening on social media, like people fighting with each other. They're not having a conversation to understand anything. They're just like, F you, motherfucker.
Well, I know. This is my truth.
Yeah. And I think that's something that we're really missing as a society. Like, instead of like having these conversations, and us, the four of us sitting here in this room, we've had to have difficult conversations to understand each other, to grow together, to remain friends, because friendships and relationships teach us the most about ourselves and help us grow the most. And we all still want to grow. We still want to grow together. Even if sometimes we misunderstand each other, we still love each other. And I feel like on the bigger picture of it, like with our neighbors or people that are out here in the world around us that are perceiving things in a different way than we do, it's like, why can't we just have a conversation? Why can't we come together to understand instead of maintaining the separation, which is what the people in power want us to do, is to be separated. Because if they separate us, then they have the power. They are giving us the narrative that keeps us apart from each other. And it pisses me off so bad.
Well, and you were talking about like, and I do agree that some of the most difficult things that we can be are authentic and neutral.
Yes.
But it's so much easier to be A or B. It's so
Mhm.
much easier to be whatever duality you want to insert here. But to be neutral, you have to at least be able to fathom that the truth isn't that, and the truth isn't that. The truth is some coagulation here in the middle, and not get like just seeing things solely as duality anymore is just going to keep us exactly where we are.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, the trying to be neutral, to trying to like just be the observer and step back is one of the hardest things to do as a human.
Yeah. And it seems like we are lacking empathy these days as well. Like, I think the people,
it's very lonely.
yeah.
Because I want to be accepted. I want to be in a group. And that's not what that gets you.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
I feel like people who are very very empathic are feeling all the things that we're feeling now. I can include myself in that, feeling a lot of things. That it's hard for us because we feel so much. Whereas you see people who are just like, they seem like they don't care what happens to other people because they put them into a category that they should suffer. Mm-hmm. And I don't want anybody to suffer. I want us all to like get our shit together and just like love each other. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Help each other and
thrive. Yes.
And eat and have health care and
yes, all of those things. You
know, we're talking about the neutral. Like there are some things I can be neutral on, but there's some things I'm never going to be neutral on.
Yeah.
That's just honesty right there.
Mm-hmm.
I want some honesty from Lynn, and that's your honesty. I'll never be able to be neutral about people not having food or being able to see the doctor and things like that.
Yeah.
I'll never be neutral on things like that.
Human kindness in general. And I want honesty and tact and diplomacy all wrapped up into one beautiful bouquet 24/7 every day of the year for the rest of my life. I have suffered personally from people being too direct or inserting a certain tone or their own opinion in a truth that honestly I probably needed to hear. I have also suffered from people skirting around issues or throwing out little catchphrases and not really showing the whole big picture. But at the end of the day, everyone has their own operating system. Everyone has their own little server in their brain. There are some relatives that I have that I vehemently disagree with, but I know enough about their past to probably step back a little more and think, how could you have any other perception? Look at what you've gone through.
Mm-hmm.
And chances are they're looking at me the same way.
Right.
Or looking at me like, oh, yeah, but you have a nice mom, you had a nice upbringing, blah, blah, blah. So your opinion, you're just mainstream. You don't know what it's like to really, really suffer.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we all got to lay down with our own head, our own thoughts, and our own experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a battle, and it's even more of a battle right now.
Yeah. And you know what? I know what it's like to really suffer, and that's why I don't want other people to suffer.
Absolutely.
I say that all the time. When people think I'm radical, I'm like, because I suffered, I don't think you should have to suffer. That's radical. Okay.
And then there are people out there who are like, well, I had to pay off all my student loans, so by God, you should too.
Yes.
Instead of, here, let me kick that door down for you a little bit. I mean, some people had to have polio, and I bet that they are cheering on that vaccine so other people don't have to.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it depends on the topic. It depends on the person and the person they're talking to. There are asterisks all over the damn world, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you can attach one to just about everything I say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it comes back to that's the definition of duality. There's going to be no matter what the topic, no matter what the discussion, no matter what the perception, there's going to be two sides to every coin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I've been told, like, the confidence that I have in my beliefs sometimes rubs people the wrong way. Even though I'm not forcing those beliefs on people, I'm just stating my belief, like, because I have confidence in that, like, people get irritated.
I think my Libra rising
Yes.
sees both sides of the stories
Mm-hmm.
most of the time. And so I'm able to see two sides of the same situation.
Oh.
And I think sometimes it can be taken as being like waffling in my thoughts or opinions, but I think it's the ability to see both sides is what more of us need.
Yeah, I think my Gemini rising helps me with that.
Yeah.
I'm able to see, I might not necessarily agree with them,
Mm-hmm.
but I can see why, like Camille was talking about with your family, like I can understand, I can look at them and say, oh, that is exactly why they believe that,
Mhm.
but that don't necessarily mean I agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're affected by so many external factors. Think about how some people go away to college and their life view totally changes and their opinions totally change because they are now around people that they've never been around before.
Mm-hmm.
And they are hearing opinions that they've never heard before. I didn't graduate college, but I was lucky enough to travel to a lot of different countries for work. And that is an education in and of its own self.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Working in the corporate world is an education in and of its own self.
Right.
And they're just little microchips and what became me. And by God, I still have a lot of learning to go.
Don't we all?
Do. Every one of us do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it ever stops.
Not as long as we're in the meat suit, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. I mean,
Exactly.
It shouldn't.
Well, if it does, then you got bigger problems.
Mm-hmm.
And, like that's kind of, then you think you've reached peak.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Perfection.
I don't know nothing. No.
I just, at the end of the day, I want to move through this world and hurt as few people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I know in the past I have hurt people just like I've been hurt
Right.
by people. But I also don't want to shortchange anyone by not saying something they really need to hear.
Same.
And there is the eternal dance.
Yeah.
I'm in remedial classes probably, but anyway.
Well, I think you can do just as much harm to people by skirting the issue.
Absolutely.
And not saying to them, look, let me show you a different viewpoint, or let me show you what I see, instead of like kind of coddling people. Like I'm just not a coddler.
Except with your baby boy.
Except for my baby. Now I will coddle the hell out of him. I will hold him in my lap.
Sandra's little dog could rip Lynn's house up and she'd look at him like, oh, baby, just having a bad day.
He was tiny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He can't do much damage above 3 feet off the floor, so it's okay.
But yeah, I think it's a whole lot easier to be completely blunt and honest. And my favorite tool of all, sarcasm.
Mm.
When someone is an absolute jackass, or you can tell they just don't care about someone else. But if you know you're dealing with a very sensitive soul and all they're going to hear and feel and see is the sting of what you have to say, be it honest or not, I'm going to take off my tap shoes and put on some fuzzy slippers and hope they get the message that way. And if not, circle back at a better time.
See, but when you do that, and this is just my opinion, I think you're changing yourself to suit someone else.
That might well be the definition of life. I don't know.
Maybe. But I've changed myself so much over the years for people that I don't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another behavior.
But I think you do that sometimes in relationships because, like, with my mom and dad, who are very religious, I'm not going to be who I am with you guys, right?
Right.
So it's not that I'm not being true to myself. I'm tempering my truth because they wouldn't be comfortable with it in order for them to be comfortable. And to me, I feel like that's okay.
I mean, if it's okay for you, it's okay for, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say I wouldn't do that because my parents are dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. But yeah, I think if you feel like that's okay for you, then I think that's an okay thing to do.
Well, but I mean, isn't it kind of a little bit different if they brought up tarot?
Yeah.
Would you be authentic in your experience with tarot? But just because you choose to like not talk about tarot when you're there because it's not something that they're interested in, you choose to talk about something that you knew would be more
comfortable for them.
And not even comfortable for them, but more something that you could share rather than be different on. I mean, I don't think that's like not being authentic. It's just like, it's just choosing the topics that you discuss about. If you knew that if they brought up something that they knew you diverged on and you would still be authentic in your response to that, then it's not like I'm changing myself
perfectly.
Because I think that's kind of what you're talking about. Is like, I'm just going to choose the topics that I know won't inflame.
Right.
But if they bring up something inflammatory, bitch gonna like match.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then I would,
exactly. Well,
I would be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say anything intentionally to hurt them, but I would be honest about my feelings and my opinion about that thing.
And diplomatic because you love them and you respect a lot about them.
Absolutely.
Even though they're on a different trajectory.
Yeah. And
you know that their understanding can only go so far.
Right. And you know, that goes like with work too. Like you have to be a different person. I can't really be my woo self at my new job because she might freak out. I don't know. Or maybe she's going to listen to this podcast.
You don't bang your tinctures every time you go into the office.
Take some sage and go smoking out the office. Yeah. So I think we probably all do to certain degrees, like temper ourselves. We're not totally authentic all the time. But also, if you think about it, those people who can't accept or love you the way that you are, they don't get all of you. They get a part of you. And that's sad to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I totally agree with the way Chandra put that. Like, I'm not going to change who I am, but I'm not going to like force it in your face if you don't agree with my lifestyle. But
my lifestyle, that made it sound really racy.
That'll be another episode.
But I'm not, if you ask me about it, you're going to get the authentic blend.
Yeah.
Buckle up, Hunter.
Yeah.
And like I said, diplomatic, like I think that's everybody has a different opinion on what diplomatic is and what it should look like. So it would be hard for me to gauge that for someone else. So you just get what I think is diplomatic.
Good luck, folks.
So it's fair.
Relationship.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You have to figure someone else out and kind of get into their head a little bit and know where you can step and where it might be a little touchy, and go about the relationship that way and discard it if it does not work for your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there are more places where you have to tiptoe than there aren't, then, then you have to be the observer and ask the question, is this my space? Is this my person? Is this where I'm supposed to be?
Yep.
What you were talking a little bit about earlier, like Brenda talking about your parents, and Chandra, you had some excellent feedback about that. That definitely rings true for me when it comes to my father. Love him dearly, great father in many ways, mostly when I was much younger. And I could be even fantasized about being able to sit down with him, look him in the eye, and let him know all of my truth, all of my feelings, how he made me feel, things he didn't mean to do that hurt, things that he didn't think about that hurt, etc. At the end of the day, because I know his personality and his propensity towards depression and melancholy, I don't think it would serve any good purpose for either of us for me to open a can of truth and whoop ass on him.
Yeah.
I think it would send him into a depressive spiral, because none of that can be remedied or fixed. You can't hit the rewind button in life.
Mm-hmm.
There are, however, other people, friends, relatives, whatever, that I probably could sit down and have a really productive discussion with, and both of us walk away feeling better and a little bit taller. So it's a tightrope.
It is a
Depending on
tightrope.
the other person in the relationship.
Yeah. Perspective and perception.
Mm-hmm. And our own filters that we filter all of life through, really.
Yeah.
Well, hell.
I think this is the best conversation.
Yes.
Real talk.
Yeah, I hope it'll help some people out there. Coffee talk. I hope that this will be helpful for people who might be struggling with their own perceptions and maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, in communication, like I can't have a conversation with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally just sit down and have a conversation and try to understand.
Yeah.
Because if you can do that, there's a possibility you can grow.
Yeah, it's growth. Growth comes with that.
Yeah.
So in closing, I would just like to say, go out and love each other. That's it. Love each other.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Peace out, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you for joining us today. Please follow and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a review. It's so easy to do and such a huge help for us. We appreciate your interactions so much. Want to join us at our table? Make sure to check out our YouTube channel and join our Facebook community. If you've enjoyed this content and wish to support us, take a look at our Patreon page. All information and links will be in our podcast description. Catch you next time.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.